back, and again, sorry for the delay. I spent the last 2 weeks trying to remove all potential AI matches from the dating apps I've been using. The most obvious were the ones that sent me all the spam. Which reminds me that I need to order more survival rations. Which brings us to some exciting news. The Duck found me my first sponsor. This section of the Bunker Missives is brought to you by After the End Emergency Meals from Globus Foods. Are you tired of eating the same hardtack and want something substantial while waiting out the end of days in your freedom bunker? Globus Foods has the meal packets for you. From their crackers to their chicken pot pie, they have meals that make you say, "This might be mistaken for food." I enjoyed their sausage, biscuits, and gravy moments before. And let me tell you, after adding salt, pepper, flour, milk, sausage, biscuits, and other assorted spices, it was the biscuits and gravy just like Mother used to make. Only with less cursing and blaming me for father leaving to get smokes many years ago. Sorry, that went somewhere I didn't think it would go. Remember, After the End Emergency Meals, the official sponsor of the Bunker Missives, and the official food of me, the man in the bunker. Now, let's see where we were last time. Yes, I've been clearing my dating profiles of bots and potential evil LLC AI. If I've learned anything from dating sites, it's that people are just plain weird. I've encountered more than a few incredibly odd people on these dating sites. I was not prepared for my first encounter with the creature known as a furry. I refuse to give up, though. If a man dressed as a cartoon panda can find love, so will I. Someday, I will find someone to share my bunker with. Of course, the first hurdle will be finding someone who's not frightened away when I ask them to meet me in my freedom bunker under the desert. Enough about my love life, though. Let's get to the boxes. I thought we'd seen the last of this, but my efforts of sorting the boxes have been derailed by the need to purge dating sites. Now that I've completed that task, I'm sure the remaining 16 boxes will be sorted in no time. A while ago, I mentioned Evil LLC created a dance craze for a client that they based on an electrified squirrel. Yeah, of course you remember Squerking. I assumed Squerking was released to the client, but this paper says the project was abandoned and the client was given something else. This is an incident report and request by the scientist who created Squerking. He's asking for resources to combat what he calls the Squerking epidemic. To quote him,
"Like Frankenstein when he first looked at the abomination he'd brought to life, I whimper in fear at what I've done and wish only to take it all back."
Sorry. I thought imitating the scientist would get the point across better, but talking like that hurts my voice. As to the details of what happened, it doesn't say how, but Squerking was somehow shown to wildlife, and the wild animals in the forests around the lab have begun to squirk. The lead scientist calls it the most disturbing thing he's ever seen and demands Evil LLC's assistance in getting animals to stop squirking. He goes on to say that if Evil LLC does not give him the funding to combat woodland animals squirking, they should consider the letter his resignation. He signed on to control the human race, but he's no monster. He draws a line at animal cruelty. Alright, this is one I knew we'd get to eventually. It's an ongoing project since every few years someone has a brilliant idea about how to make it better. But we always go back to the tried and true method because it works. The original plan is a masterpiece and shows what Evil LLC can do to turn what should have been a disaster into the most believed conspiracy in the world. The moon landing was real. Neil Armstrong really did land on the moon and returned. He even planted the American flag on the moon just as the old videos claim he did. The videos of the astronauts landing on the moon, those were faked. You see, fearing the Soviet Union would jump on any disaster and say they were the best in the international pissing contest, Apollo 11 secretly launched on June 30th and landed on the moon on July 4th, 1969. There was footage of that landing, but it was never released to the public. Why, you ask? You see, when Neil Armstrong plunged his flag into the moon, it went straight through. Yeah, that's right. The moon is flatter than a highway in West Kansas. The crackers that come with after the end emergency meals have more depth than the moon. Though judging by these crackers, the moon probably has more flavor. You can still see the hole Armstrong made in the moon. They patched it with duct tape, but if you look at the moon through a telescope on a cloudless night, you can maybe see the roll of duct tape that someone on the original Apollo mission forgot to clean up, and everyone else who landed there considered it not their job. Back to the footage though. The astronauts secretly got back to Earth on July 8th as NASA and the US government scrambled to figure out what to do. The Reds would have a field day if they figured out America broke the moon, so they had to do something. They hired Evil LLC. The idea was easy: reshoot the footage and fudge the dates. But how? They launched a backup rocket on July 16th, 1969, but that was just for the cameras. The real astronauts were with a director out in a warehouse set not far from Las Vegas to film their hoax. All audio was from the original landing, and any footage not from the moon's surface was real. The second it switched to Armstrong on the moon, though, it was sent live from the warehouse. There's about 1 million discrepancies between the real moon landing footage and the stage footage, and over the years, conspiracy whack jobs have picked out one or two, but Evil LLC had a two-part plan for that. And one, make the whack jobs look crazy by saying things like too many people would have to be involved for it to be a hoax. People just don't keep quiet about things like that. Watergate happened not long after, and Gate was added to every scandal and pseudo-scandal for the next 60-odd years. The number of people that would have been required to fake the moon landing was 100 times as many as for Watergate. 2. Evil LLC created the Flat Earth theory to hide the fact that the moon was flat. What was the likelihood that two celestial bodies would both be flat? Almost zero. So if the Earth was flat, the moon must be spherical. And there's no way that NASA accidentally poked a hole straight through the moon and left a roll of duct tape there. Damn, I have to give credit where it's due. I may not like them, but occasionally, once in a blue moon, the PR guys actually do something right. I'm assuming it was on accident, but I will sing their praises for the time being. They gave every computer in the company access to Urban Dictionary. This may not seem like much, but before, when we were trying to talk to people online, they'd say things like, "Yeah, right, Fed," and "How's Langley this time of year?" and "Oink, oink, oink." We were just too formal. Now we can, to use Urban Dictionary, totes chill in folks' DMs without being sus AF. We's ain't basic bitches. We chillin', no cap. Yes, it makes our interactions with the public hit different and Gucci. Now we have Riz because we slay and can pass their vibe checks. I just realized I need to eliminate a few more of my dating site matches. I tossed a few out because, well, they used slang too well. But if you can teach a 40-year-old office monkey to use slang, you can definitely teach AI to use it. As the kids say, pluh. I really need to get off that side. It's rotting my brain. Have a good night, people. Stay suspicious.